Shalom, and welcome to Light of the Hill Ministries. And in today's teaching, we will be talking about thoughts of the heart. If you want to follow along, I will be posting this in the comment box below. And now, under the teaching. And Yahweh saw that the wickedness of man was great on the earth, and that every inclination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. Genesis 6, verse 5. The Hebrew root word that is translated as wicked is raw. Strong's number H7551, which means bad, evil, wicked, harmful. A heart that is continually evil and wicked knows that Yahweh will not hear. As the psalmist says in Psalm 66, verse 18, "If I have seen wickedness in my heart, Yahweh would not hear." The psalmist here makes a statement that if he sees wickedness in his heart, then Yahweh would not hear him. This means that if one sins, transgresses the Torah, they have wickedness in their hearts. And the people of Noah's time had righteousness preached to them from the time of Enoch, until the time of the flood. Yahweh did not hear them, nor will he hear those who have wickedness in their hearts, like those in the time of Noah. The way we can see if there's wickedness in our hearts is by looking into the mirror of the Word and allowing the Word to wash away any dust from the world that we may pick up on our journey. In other words, don't just read the Scriptures, but let Scriptures read you. Proverbs 28, verse 9 says, "He who turns away his ear from hearing the Torah, even his prayer is an abomination." So, even our prayers are an abomination when we turn away from the Torah. Let that sink in for a moment. When we don't listen to Yahweh's instructions, why should he listen to us? This is made even more clear when the Messiah himself makes the same statement. We know that Elohim does not hear sinners, but if anyone fears Elohim and does his desires, he hears him. John 9, verse 31. Even Yahushua tells us that Yahweh does not hear sinners, those who transgress the Torah. Why? Because the truth is not in them. They have not the Torah in their hearts, which have become hardened by the deceit of unrighteousness, because they did not receive the love of the truth in order to be saved. With this being said, the inclination of the thoughts of the heart of man is evil continuously. The Hebrew word translated as inclination in Genesis 6:5 is yetzer, Strong's number H3336, which means imagination, a form, fashioned, framing, purpose. Yahweh knows us inside and out, how we feel and what frames our imagination. And the warning is clear: if we deviate from his Torah, which should shape our thoughts and direct our lives, we risk not being heard by him. The Hebrew root word that is translated as thoughts is the word makashabeh, Strong's number H4284, which means thoughts, devise, scheme, plan, purpose. Not only does Yahweh know the heart, but he also searches it and understands all the intents of the thoughts. And David warns his son Shlomo, also commonly called Solomon, about this when he says, "As for you, my son Shlomo, know the Elohim of your father, and serve him with a perfect heart and with a pleasing life. For Yahweh searches all the hearts and understands all the intents of the thoughts. If you do seek him, he is found by you. But if you forsake him, he rejects you forever." 1 Chronicles 28, verse 9. The Messiah clearly warned us that the last days would be like the days of Noah. And we're certainly able to see how the inclination of thoughts are only evil continuously. But concerning that day and hour no one knows, not even the messengers of heaven, but my Father only. And as the days of Noah, so also shall the coming of the Son of Adam be. For as they were in the days before the flood, eating and drinking, marrying and given in marriage, until the day that Noah entered into the ark, and they did not know until the flood came and took them all away, so also shall the coming of the Son of Adam be. Matthew 24, verses 36 to 39. In the future, the thoughts of man will once again be at the forefront, which means evil and wicked constantly. The love of many, Messiah says, will become cold. And because of the increase in lawlessness, the love of many shall become cold. Matthew 24, verse 12. Lawlessness, or the lack of hearing Yahweh's word, will increase, and so the result is that many will become cold towards one another. And so Yahweh will not hear their words. A heart without the Torah will continue to plot, scheme, and devise wicked ways and plans that seek to excuse away the need to obey the Torah. And this is an abomination to Yahweh. Instead of simply obeying the Torah of Yahweh and meditating on His word day and night, the lawless continue to come up with reasons as to why they think they do not have to submit and obey. And in doing so, they plot and scheme various man-made systems that have people meditating on lawlessness rather than meditating on the truth. Yirmiyahu was clearly shown the state of the hearts of Israel and Yehudah. And under the influence of inherited lies and vain tradition, the heart of a called-out nation had become desperately sick. And we see a call to get cleaned up in Jeremiah 4, verse 14. O Yerushalayim, wash your heart from evil and be saved. Till when would your wicked thoughts remain within you? Even though they boasted in Yahweh's Hakel, the truth was no longer in their hearts. And all that was in their hearts were wicked thoughts. The Hebrew word translated as your wicked is onech, which is from the root aven, Strong's H202, which means trouble, sorrow, wickedness, iniquity, emptiness. When our hearts trouble us, it leads us into deep wickedness, and wickedness leads to emptiness. And emptiness leads us to find something to fill the void in our hearts, which leads to idolatry. In terms of deception, we see in Proverbs 17, verse 4, how the word aven is tied to thoughts and words of falsehood that the unrighteous give heed to. An evildoer gives heed to wicked lips. A liar gives ear to a tongue of desire. We believe lies because we're looking for something to fill our heart's desire, which then become a form of idolatry. We can see today, through the lawlessness of so many, that the inclination of the thoughts of their hearts are only dysfunctional, as they refuse to submit to the perfect Torah and function according to it through complete obedience, as is seen by the fruit of lawlessness. Have you ever found yourself devising wicked schemes in your heart? That is, have you ever found yourself trying to find a way to avoid doing something you know you should do? Perhaps you've devised a plan in your heart to keep from keeping the Sabbath as you should, or the feast as you should, or any part of His Torah as you should. Schemes that you devise to justify in your heart, only to find out that your heart has been deceitful when mirrored against the truth. The remedy is the remedy to that is to wash our hearts. Draw near to Elohim, and he shall draw near to you. Cleanse hands, sinners, and cleanse the heart, you double-minded. James 4, verse 8. Wash your heart from evil, and let no wicked scheming remain in you, for it is an abomination to Yahweh. It is a heart matter, and while many at times think that their hearts are perfect, we must be careful not to fall into the trap of so many delusional and lawless people who use words such as, "He knows my heart," as a vain reason to not submit and obey the Torah. Again, Jeremiah tells us that the heart is crooked above all and desperately sick. Who shall know it? Jeremiah 17, verse 9. The Hebrew word used here for desperately sick is anash, Strong's H605, which means to be weak, sick, desperately sick. It pictures being in a state of being incurable, and is a word that is also used for a wound or grief, sickness or wickedness. A derivative of this word is Enosh, Strong's number H583, which means mortal man or mankind. The Hebrew root word translated as crooked is akol, Strong's number H6121, which means insidious. That is harmful and enticing, deceitful, polluted, sly. In other words, the heart of mortal man is harmful and enticing, and it will often draw one away from the things that can pollute one's life. Yirmiyahu, or Jeremiah as he's commonly called, goes on and writes in the next verse, Jeremiah 7, verse 20. "I, Yahweh, search the heart, I try the kidneys, and give every man according to his ways, according to the fruit of his deeds." When people say that commonly used expression, "He knows my heart," what they do not realize is that what they're saying is 100% correct. Yahweh does know their heart. The problem is that a mortal man does not always know the state of his own heart. One of the things that Yahweh hates is a heart that devises wicked schemes. Our thoughts are to be pure and not wicked, as Paul shows us how to be clean when he says, "For the rest, brothers, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is righteous, whatever is clean, whatever is lovely, whatever is of good report, if there is any unrighteousness, and if there is any if there's any uprightnesses, if there is any praise, think on these." Philippians 4, verse 8. As we think on and meditate upon that which is good and true, that is, to think upon and meditate upon the Torah of Yahweh day and night, we will find our hearts filled with the good treasure of the Word of Yahweh, a sure treasure that will come forth from a pure heart. We should desire a clean heart like David or David, who said, "Show me favor, O Elohim, according to your loving commitment, according to the greatness of your compassion. Blot out my transgressions, wash me completely from my guilt, and cleanse me from my sin, for I know my transgressions. And my sin is ever before me. Against you, you alone have I sinned, and done evil in your eyes, that you might be proven right in your words. Be clear when you judge. See, I was brought forth in crookedness, and in sin my mother conceived me. See, you have desired truth in my inward parts, and in the hidden part You make me know wisdom. Cleanse me with hyssop, and I am clean. Wash me, and I'm whiter than snow. Let me hear joy and gladness. Let the bones you have crushed rejoice. Hide your face from my sins and blot out my crookedness. Create in me a clean heart, O Elohim, and renew a steadfast spirit within me. Do not cast me away from your presence, and do not take your set-apart spirit from me. Restore to me the joy of your deliverance, and uphold me, noble spirit. Psalms 51, verses 1 through 12. Our prayer should be that of David's prayer, so that we may once again draw near to Yahweh, and He will draw near to us. Hallelujah. If you like this teaching, please comment, like, share, subscribe, and click on the notification button to be notified of the next teaching. Yahweh bless and shalom to your homes.